It's time for your Talk Time Live exclusive.
You are now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge.
Folks, I am honored to have on the show today artists and designers Diane Trinh, Marisa Diaz, my apologies, and Tabari Davis representing the organization known as Gameheads. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's mostly because in connection of Insomniac Games and the release of their much anticipated update to Spider-Man 2, which not only gives us finally New Game Plus and other great updates, but also a specially made skin known as the Flying Fresh Suit pack, which is available for $4.99 right now. Proceeds of the DLC will go to Gameheads organization, which is an organization that empowers youth of color and low-income youth with the ability to become involved in the video game industry, something I've been talking about forever. So they are here to talk about their involvement with Insomniac Games on this and this awesome project, as well as bring some much-needed inclusion to the gaming industry. And we're here to talk about all of that. So please welcome all of them to Talk Time Live exclusive. How is everybody doing?
Doing good.
Doing great.
All right. So, Tabari, I'm going to go to you first with this. First of all, ladies, happy National Women's Day. First of all, I just want to put that out there.
Go women.
There you go. Shout out to y'all. But Tabari, I'm going to go to you first. Can you give us any type of idea how Gameheads actually started with, as far as Damon's inclusion to this and how, a little bit of the history of Gameheads for those who don't know?
So I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm like a day oneer, but for sure, Gameheads has had very much like humble beginnings. Like we started off as kind of what you could see as I don't want to say like an after school program because it wasn't really that, but it was just people wanting to make video games and make it accessible to, like young people, right? Right. Learning about these things such as like coding and all that stuff, it's not the most interesting thing to like have to lecture about. So I think Damon, he's some kind of wizard because he makes it palatable to like, high schoolers, people that are, don't really have any idea of necessarily what they want to do, but we know that we all like video games, right? So, yeah, I would, but in a nutshell, that's kind of what I say Gameheads.
Which I greatly appreciate because those who've listened to my show and followed my show for quite some time, as a black man myself, growing up in the 80s, I'm going to just put myself out there in my age right now. Growing up in the 80s,
Okay.
what I'm saying? Like I put, I wanted to. I'm a graphic designer myself. I'm an artist by trade and master. And we didn't see any opportunities, especially up here on the East Coast. We were always having these self-fulfilling prophecies that is just one area that we can never be. And we never see ourselves on that. It took us up until 2020 to see and know the name of Jerry Lawson, which during the pandemic, it really boiled my brain at the idea that this guy was the reason why we're playing video games the way we are today. And it upset me. So like now that I've been advocating this for so long, and when I found out about, thanks to Insomniac Games for putting you guys out there and finding out about this, I was like, I need to reach out. I need to reach out, praise, support, and thank them, and hopefully we can get this growing and getting it out there, and hopefully get them on the East Side for that matter. It's really dope. I really appreciate it. But it's like, as far as Gameheads is like not only partnering with Insomniac Games, but you're also partnering with other people, other companies in the game industry. Like, are you guys, you said you were talking about they went to humble beginnings, but now it's grown and evolved to this such a thing to getting this type of platform and getting this type of support. Are you guys surprised of the amount of support that they're getting? And Tabari, I'll start with you again because you're not day oneer, but you still a vet.
Yeah, I'm a veteran for sure. I feel like I've been there for like 7+ years or so. And I'm like 32 now. So yeah, I joined when I was like 24. I think around that time. Hey man. But yeah, what's the question again?
What was the support? Like, are you surprised at the support that they've been, getting, like, just from Xbox and Insomniac?
Yeah.
And I mean, I saw the list on the website. It's like crazy.
I would say even like early on, we've had a lot of support. It starts definitely with the developers. I think my first year at Gameheads, I was being mentored by a guy. His name's Garav, and he worked on like games that I was playing on like PlayStation 1. So to see him, like one time he brought like his sketchbook and he was showing me all his sketches and like concept art, and that was really inspiring. So it really starts with the devs and it sort of trickles up, because I feel like companies that are really about sort of supporting their communities are more willing to like collaborate and write. And we've collaborated with also Double Fine for quite a bit.
Right,
too.
I saw that too. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the deal. Like, the reason why I am so indebted as a gamer and a fan to Insomniac, because what they did with Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man Miles Morales, especially during 2020, and this recent one, is provided some of the most inclusive amount of content in a game. Like, I give credit to them in Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth for just showing so much of us, all of us, Black, white, Asian, LGBTQIA. It does, like, everybody feels welcome and included. And especially what they did with Spider-Man 2. I really appreciated what they did in there. And it didn't for them to keep going by supporting a organization like you guys, it warms my heart. That, it's one thing, like, as a business that they tell you that you need to give back in some form of fashion. They could have went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could have went anywhere. They went to you guys and said, let's keep this train going. Let's get them not just playing the games, not just being esport, competitors. Let's get them into creating, because there are artists out there too. There are developers and engineers out there too. I want to see more of it. Every one of us out there doing it. And I greatly appreciate it. And you guys for even being a part of that. So now let's talk about Flying Fresh. I told you guys before I was, before the, our interview started, like, I got a chance to play it. It took me a minute to take back, because I'm like, they are rocking like stuff that I used to wear back in the day. And I'm flying around, I'm swinging around and gliding around with them, trying to beat Sandman. And it's scary. But once you get into it, it's like, it's just, I couldn't stop smiling at the idea that, they're wearing these outfits and everything. And it's just like, I really dig this. I really enjoy it, every part of it. I'm still playing it now. And the bad part, because I'm sure all of you have played the game in some form or fashion. At least I hope you did. But once you get started with Spider-Man 2, it's hard to get off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I got a schedule. And thank you, Insomniac, for, like, getting me immersed in it again. By the way, this is my third time playing it. So I'll tell you right there. But I really enjoyed it. Diane, well, I'm sorry, Marisa. I thought Diane was going to be here, but Marisa and Diane, and I thought Tiffany was going to be here actually, but there's been a change up on that. But nonetheless, I could talk to you, Marisa, about this. You two worked on aspects of the skin design before we talk further about the contributions of designs. I want to know, like, what were your thoughts? What were going through your thoughts in mind when you had the chance to, like, find out that you were going to be a part of this project? Marisa, I'll start with you.
I thought, oh, no way. Considering that, and after that, I was like, okay, yeah, I really want to try to do this and see what I can prove. Considering that I'm also a 6-7 year Gameheads veteran. I'm 29 and I joined when I was 23, and I will be 30 in April.
Hey.
I don't look my age at all.
No, you do not.
It's just the height. But honestly, I felt really, honored and very giddy that I was given this opportunity, considering that a lot of my, I would say, cousins and godbrother love Spider-Man. And I know that, if I made something for this, thankfully Insomniac decided to let me work on it. They would be absolutely ecstatic to have something like, in it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even fathom that being approached to me. And it'll be like one of those moments that like you keep it cool, but like you go into your room and you just start blitzing out.
Yeah, I think I told the studio, like with Bobby, the people there, like what they told me, and I went, oh wow, do you mind if I step out to kind of just be in the house for like a second? Given the
they kind of figured they had to figure that was going to happen. Like you know, do your thing for a minute, come back.
Yeah, like it's like the first ever big AAA thing that I think any of us got to work on. So it was like highly exciting. Right. For some reason, my dad thought, my dad's like Afro-Cuban, and he thought that I was, he doesn't know the difference from like the Spider-Man movies and the game. So he thought I was working on like the movie, even though it was already out.
Right.
I had to clarify, no, you can't, it's already out. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, technically speaking, though, you kind of are. I mean, it is some connections to it at least. So you could kind of just say like, yeah, I'm within the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Diane, I'll give you the same question. What were your thoughts when they approached you with this?
I was honestly like, at first I didn't believe it. Like when Damon like told us like, oh, you guys are gonna be working on Spider-Man. I was like I didn't like process it. I was like, okay, Spider-Man. Right. And then after the call, I was like, wait, like Marvel Spider-Man? I was like, wait, Insomniac? I was like, oh, wait a minute. And it just like all hit me. And I was like, if you asked me like if I could see myself working with like such a big title game, like when I was back in high school, I would have said no way. So this was like a huge surprise, a very great honor. And it's like a really big learning process too. So yeah.
Right. I mean, look, that's the one thing I can relate to you guys on is the fact that, you know, doing what I've been doing for years, I've managed to have my own milestone moments with people I can't even fathom that I would ever be around. It's just an amazing feeling. I empathize with you, all of you on that. And Tabari, like, first of all, congratulations to you because you're working with Insomniac. You're like one of their, graphic designers. And like, how does it feel to be a part of the actual team, man?
Man, it is, I don't know. It's a lot for me to take in.
Surreal.
For sure. Yeah. Because I feel like especially when you're in the art space and you're kind of trying to like figure things out, it's so hard to like break into anything concrete. You know what I mean?
Preach it.
So yeah, just like being alone in my studies for such a long time and now finally getting to be in like a workspace with all these amazing people it is a truly amazing experience for sure.
I cannot wait to have my wife listen to this interview and hear your response to that because I, again, as a designer and, artist myself, we go through the same deal. And like when you're an entrepreneur and you're by yourself, it's like an artist's road it sometimes can be a solo road of your own mind and theory and thought and philosophy and all this stuff and trying to know when that next step is coming. But your passion and love for it really shows. It's like people, I always talk about people who worry about money too much when it comes to what we try to do, all of us try to do. And it's like, it's not about that. They're not going to hire you when you're just trying to look for money. They would hire you because you're so engulfed in what you do and you love what you do that they are more interested. They want to invest in your love. They want to invest in your passion for this. That is why you guys got this opportunity because they invested in your love for all this. It's not because it's not just the quality of your work, but just the passion that you put on it. And you're there for a reason. And it definitely shows. But trust me, I get that definitely. Now, going back to that, like Marisa and Diane, can you give a little bit of an idea of what your contributions were to the Fly and Fresh project? And Diane, I'll start with you.
So my contributions was I made like some little stickers for the sticker pack that was in the DLC. But we all like had a part in like designing or like pitching our suits to Insomniac. But the main suit was designed by Marisa. So shout out to her.
Love it. And what was your inspiration of that? Like how did you come up with the concept for the actual suit? What inspired you to do the actual, like you talked about your age. You did, I didn't. You talked about your age, and I'm pretty sure like I'm double your age to some extent, and I don't remember you being around at the time when you got to put this stuff together. So like, how'd you come up with this old school retro hip hop concept right here?
Well, who's you want to go
Marisa,
first?
you could go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Initially, I was marathoning in Living Color because I didn't grow up with SNL. I watched Living Color, like the DVDs. We go to the DVD place, and my mom would get them. And we'd laugh at them. But also, when my dad came here, and got married, and he just loved like the 80s, late 90s style. Like my dad had a flat top.
Yes.
This man is from Cuba,
With the fade, or without a fade?
With the fade, I think.
There you
go. This man had a beeper. I remember growing up where he had a beeper all the time. But
yes.
Basically, I thought, you know what? Let me just, for the sake of like having like a suit that makes sound running up the wall, because I thought it'd be really funny. And also, who doesn't love a good tracksuit with geometric shapes? I thought it would be a really fun and colorful suit to make. And, it's kind of a little bit of homage to my dad with the era, but especially to In Living Color itself, which I remember there was a YouTube comment underneath the video, and somebody said, somebody watched one episode of Living Color and called this like all of the day. And I went, no, I watched all of them since growing up. But you were half correct on that. But
that is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
I did not expect that answer at all. That was beyond my expectations.
I mean, who doesn't love the Wayans brothers?
Greatest, one of the greatest of all time, straight up. Like, more power to you on that. Seriously, I got a question for all three of you though. All of you are SJSU, San Jose State University students, correct?
Yeah,
almost. So,
almost.
Yeah. You got accepted.
Yeah.
Oh, congrats. Marisa and Diane, you guys are SJSU?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so I'll direct it.
Digital media. Awesome.
I'll direct this to you. What lessons did you that you used for this project that helped out? Marisa, I'll start with you on that one.
Actually, I don't think there was a lot that helped me, because being digital media, we're more into like the coding and technical stuff. So a lot of it came from studying a lot of concept art books that I've just collected over the years and studied on my own. So it's kind of very separate from school.
Any philosophical things that might have helped out in terms of like work rate and all the stuff, or
work rate?
In terms of like your determination to get this project done, or how you go about the project and all the stuff, your thought process, strategy.
I think studying the greats to be great within the concept art books.
Hey.
But, taking a lot of those, I guess, techniques from them.
Yeah.
And applying them as best as I can intake to them to get to put out high level concept art for the studio and for Bobby.
Yeah. Diane, what about you?
So when I was on this project, I was a third year animation student. So I applied like a lot of like lessons that my professors taught me like back then to this project. Like, I think the main thing that like was like in my mind was like to keep it simple, because that's all like the professors like hound into you, because you don't want to like overfill your design too much or like make it too complicated. So you just start out simple and then build from that. And then like every design element that you add, like there needs to be a reason why. Like, why does Miles look like this? Why is he wearing this? Like, why is he doing this sort of action? So that's what like I was thinking when I was going through this whole process.
I totally agree with that. Like, part of when I design logos and stuff like that, I keep it subtle, because a lot of times subtlety, it actually makes more noise and makes it, and you're able to see a lot more than it is when you're like overly you're overly saturated with, designs here and designs here. Although my professors once said, like, if you still need to keep people motivated and captivated by the design that you do. So, and that's what I liked about the designs that Marisa, that you put together, because you're not you're captivated for more than just a minute. And I was always told by my professor, RIP to him, if you can't be captivated by a work of art for more than a minute, it's a fail. I tend to, when I look at your designs, I look at every aspect, every design, every shape, going back and forth, the hat, the color scheme, all that stuff, like really kicks it. And there's a lot of balance, the color scheme, the palette, all that stuff. There's a balance. So, I mean, I consider that a success in my opinion, because it really keeps it captivated the whole time. And and then when it's in motion, it's like, it's hard not to look at, especially with the frame rate so so big and everything. It's really crazy. But again, great job on that, and great job on all the designs that you guys have done. It's just a testament of that. And Insomniac chooses right, and I see why in this case.
Appreciate it.
Tabari, like, you do the fight. You're basically doing like the final design concept. Can you talk about that a little bit in terms of what that entails, the job that entails? Like, once everything's done, you oversee things.
So essentially, like, we had the initial like theme or sketch layout of what we were going for, and then my job was to look at like the anatomy of the in-game characters and models, and to sort of palette those designs onto them.
Right.
And for me personally, being like kind of like self-taught, it was very enlightening to be working with the folks from Insomniac, right? Because a lot of times for me, I have my inspirations. I'm sure you see like the Keyblade back there.
Yeah,
I'm a huge
exactly.
Tetsuya Nomura fan. And then I got the Guilty Gear playmat back there.
Oh.
So I'm a huge Guilty Gear fan too. And those are like super, their designs are super like complex, right? But for
very
Spider-Man,
detailed,
you can't really have a lot of like things hanging off and like jingling things, right?
Right.
So I had to sort of curb that and make the design palatable and choose where to add complexity where it could, exist, right? So if you look at like the bottom of the shoes, I'm really proud of the shoes. Like, the shoes are probably my favorite part to translate over. But yeah, it was quite the task for me.
Yeah. How long so far have you been with Insomniac?
So I started in basically at the beginning of February. So.
Oh, literally just started. Wow.
Yeah. It's an apprenticeship.
I can't even ask you what
so
have you learned so far from them. Yeah, because you just got in.
Yeah, I just got in. But I'm still learning a lot, to be honest.
Oh, you're good. You're gonna have a lot of fun. Just the learning process. Like, again, like, I'm self-taught myself. I was born with the kinesthetic ability to pick up things on a fly. Yeah. But they teach you in school, man, and you're about to learn this. Like, it doesn't matter. You still need to learn how to hone that skill in and refine it. You got, it's like you're like an X-Men character with like a bunch, like with unstable powers, and you need to just check it in real quick, control it, put it together, make something happen. I think you got some great teachers possibly on your way. Not only that, but also with Gameheads, helping along that way too. It's like, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So, what am I going to say? Like, what do you think, all three of you? Just last question, and thank you once again for stopping by. I really am enjoying the time with you guys, and it's an honor to be able to talk to you guys, and just the fact that you guys exist in the realm of opportunity, it's just fantastic. Really, I'm probably going to drop a tear when I get off of here at the reality of the idea, and thank Damon, Packwood, for making this happen, and I really got to, get in touch with him to really talk about the organization as well. What do you think you benefited the most from Gameheads in your entire journey? Marisa, I'll start with you. I'll put you on the spot.
Okay. I would say, it's helped me a lot carve out my own path aside from school. Not that it's, not important, but it's that I don't think I would be where I am without Gameheads, because there's just something about this program that gives like a third space and is able to be something that isn't school, that really can pipeline you into bigger things that I think more students need to be included in, especially like with me with recruiting people from San Jose State, seeing that same kind of hunger that we all have. It's they need something like that, which, you know, if they're able to carve out their own path on their own, then they can stand on their own in this industry, or trying to get somewhere through Gameheads, I think.
Diane, what about you?
I would say like the people that I met through the program. I think everyone in the program is like really bright, and they like definitely have a lot of passion for games. So being able to work in like teams with them is like, it's fun, but you also like learn a lot. Like you learn the process of like how games are made, or like what goes into like making games, and just like they're fun. They're all fun people. So yeah.
Well, that's a plus. That's a needed plus. And last but certainly not least, Tabari, how did Gameheads help? I mean, it's a stupid question, but how did Gameheads benefit? How did you benefit from Gameheads, I should say?
I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways I have from Gameheads is being put in a position that I otherwise wouldn't be. And to expound on that, it's like, I don't think that by sort of being a hermit in my room, learning from whatever resource I have, not to throw any shade at artists that do that, because it's a huge undertaking, right?
Yeah.
But being put in the unique position to almost have students of my own, I feel.
Right.
Because a lot of students that come there are of varying different experience levels. I often find myself having to show people and teach people different things. Right. That's a humbling experience, and it kind of forces me to be on my A game. Because if someone comes to me and asks me a question, then I don't have the answer. Then what does that look like for me, right?
Right. Did you did you ever fathom that you would be like a mentor per se?
Not really, but in general, I think throughout my life, I do tend to be like the listening ear for people. So in some ways it's surprising. In other ways, it's not so much.
Right. But. Well, people, thank you so much for being on this show. This is like, I'm not even joking about when I say this. This is probably going to be one of my most cherished interviews, and you're talking to somebody who spoke with the cast of My Hero Academia, Bleach,
wow,
9 cast members of Naruto, and like this one is sentimental to me because this is answering a question I've been dying for so long, and I'm glad that it exists, and I'm glad that you guys are part of it, and you guys are excelling as you do, and I wish you the best in all of your future endeavors from this point.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having us.
Oh, this is my pleasure. People, if you want to learn more about Gameheads, please go to their official website at gameheadsoakland.org. Also, if you're definitely in the West Coast region, mind you, and hopefully they'll come to the East Coast. I'm praying for this. Or something of that nature comes to the East Coast. Because people want to do it. They just need a place to be able to do it. Whatever it is in the industry. We just need more of us out there. Also, the Fly and Fresh Suit Pack DLC available now for $4.99. Trust me when I tell you, it's a lot of fun to just have and play around and just, going. You know what you did to me now, right? I'm going to replay that again, but I'm going to have in living color music on the background.
It better be season 3's version.
With the Heavy D season 3 one, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I got this. We got this. It's gonna loop over and over again. Shout out to your pop. Shout out to you for rocking that. You warm my heart with that. So that's a definite deal. But definitely go out of your way, support this, because proceeds of that DLC will go to Gameheads and help future game developers, engineers, artists, graphic designers getting to the game industry. And I always say there's specks of pepper in the sea of salt. We need to balance the the seasonings of this industry, and Gamehead seems to be on the path to doing that. So again, thank you guys so very, very much. And I hope you guys enjoyed this very special edition of Talk Time Live Exclusive. On behalf of myself and the Gameheads crew, all I gotta say is learn to let go, live life, and love all things anime, comics, movies, and games. This is ACMG Presents Talk Time Live. We are out here. Take care and keep gaming.